to the kitchen table of Silver Surf Wax for Silver Surf Wax Sunday. And have I got an unboxing for you today? We got two things to unbox. I'm gonna try to get this into frame. So the first thing, we'll get this out of the way pretty quick, but I'm fairly excited because if you've been following any of my videos, you know that I have most recently completed a monster box, or a 500 ounce box of silver quarters, and I have been out of the boxes that I use, which are ammo cans. So what have I got here? I've got an order, and I'm trying to make sure I don't include any potential identifying information on these things, but it looks like I've got custom put together situation here. Okay, I'm a little bit close on the camera, aren't I? Just noticing that. Look at this. Ordered on Amazon. Oh, look, I got a huge dent in the handle. Come on, man. And I'm guessing that inside this ammo can, God alive, are you kidding me? Is another ammo can. Yeah, so ordering these online, they're fairly inexpensive and brand new and hopefully not dented the way I just got one. But there's two ammo cans that I now can start another monster box project. Fill these cans with 500 ounces of silver. And I got this one as well. And we got another two of these. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put the fancy pads on the bottom of the feet so that they don't go sliding around the table, making gouge marks in the furniture. But yes, I'm pretty excited to. Look at this dent. Got brand new ammo cans dented. Come on. Now, all of my other ammo cans are super beat up and from military surplus, so while I am feigning disdain here, I don't expect these cans to be beautiful or in any way in immaculate shape ever. Their purpose is simple: to contain, to have an airtight seal, to hold silver, and to be able to have an easy way of storing and carrying about 500 ounces, which is roughly 35 pounds. So, a single person, even a child, could pick up 35 pounds, and you could get this and transport 500 ounces fairly simply. So that is the goal of the ammo cans, and I've got 4 more, and I'm going to put the feet on them a little later. But before we do that, I am going to do the second unboxing, and I'm a little nervous because it's the first time that I have got a package and I ordered person to person. So rather than ordering from an online bullion dealer, I'm dealing with an individual that I paid in a whoops. Let's see if I can not have that information show. Let's try the other side. I'm dealing with an individual that I paid in an alternate method, and so I'm going to see if this ends up being right. We want to make sure that I didn't get screwed here. So let's see if I can open this up without revealing anything. But let me move the camera down so you guys can see a little bit better. So let's see how this works. There's some packing information. I'm gonna take a quick look at it and pull it out to make sure I don't see anything written on it. I do see some words or some markings. So I'm gonna turn that upside down just because I don't really know. But it looks like what I'm expecting, which is silver quarters, although it does feel a little light for 80 face. But I will definitely be counting that for sure. Look at that blue sucker. So I am going to unwrap this thing just in case there's anything written on it. I'm gonna go ahead and unwrap this, and then I'm gonna cut shot back to me spilling this thing out. Give me 1 second. Okay, that's not too bad. It just says Washington quarters on it. I wanted to make sure. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut this puppy open, and I'm gonna spill out all this silver. It looks silver to me. It doesn't look clad, which is the first kind of concern. Check out that blue silver quarter. That's pretty wild, huh? So this looks all right. That's a pretty heavy slick. But that one's got a decent rim on it. So I don't think I just got a bunch of slicks. Oh, I do got kind of a lot of green rust stuff all over, right? Ugh. So that is fairly ugly looking. It looks like this. Here's a one with a nice chunk out of it. Check that out. Chunker. Man, it went all the way through like a nail or something. At any rate, oh, these are all rusted. Man, these must have been in some sort of wet or moist environment. So these are gonna definitely get a good scrub. And, we'll see, I'll soak these for probably a little longer than usual. I'll probably do that off camera. Oh, I have one more unboxing, don't I? Remember, if you remember on my last video, I also broke my strainer, from Amazon, came to the rescue, and I have a brand new strainer set, which is collapsible, so I can store it in my little area. And I got even more stuff, which I might actually just use for food, because these look pretty cool. But I'm going to use this strainer for washing silver. So I am going to go ahead and soak these and soap them up, and I think I'm going to let them sit in soap water for a while, just because they are looking fairly gross. And then I will come back at you after they've been duly rinsed and washed of their dirt, debris, and oil. And we'll count it out and make sure we have 80 face here. And so I'll get right back with you. Okay, welcome back. So I went ahead and did my normal soapy rinse of my junk silver, just to keep the oil and the dirt and the debris, the loose dirt off my hands. But out of the $80 face that I picked up, these ones I pulled out and were relatively clean. This guy, actually, I was able to kind of use my fingernail and get some of this paint off of it. So, it was starting to come clean, but it wasn't, even though it has this blue paint on there, it's not corroded. However, I have quite a few of these guys with some significant corrosion on them. And so if you can tell, they're just ugly. They feel rough to the touch. Soap, they've been soaking for an hour. That's not taking any of this off, and I didn't expect it to. But we've got quite a bit of corrosion. So what I was gonna do with some barber quarters that I had that also have similar corrosion, I was gonna do the old vinegar trick. But since these are just junk silver quarters and even less numismatic value and definitely circulated, I'm gonna go and try the vinegar trick on these guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a glass container here and I'm gonna put these quarters in it. I'm gonna dump the remainder of what I have for white distilled vinegar, and I need to go to the store and pick up some more. But I'm gonna go ahead and give this a shot. And I'm gonna let it soak for about an hour. I'll probably shake it up a couple of times because these coins will be laying on each other and not giving access to the vinegar everywhere, right? So I'll probably come by and swirl these around. But I want to see how that does, because it is a little bit of an acidic treatment, but it should hopefully take care of some of this ugly greenness and see how it behaves. And I'm experimenting with about a little less than $30 face here, again, hopefully there's no key dates in here that I have to worry about hurting but I'll risk it, man. I'll risk it. Let's see if we can get that in focus. But yeah, these guys are pretty rough in terms of all of the corrosion that I received. So I'm gonna give this a shot and see how it goes. So let me see if I can't do this live, or not live, but right in front of you. So I'm gonna go ahead and undo my little container here. I've mostly these aren't exactly dry, but that should be fine. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pour all this vinegar right in here so we get them covered. So as long as it's covering them all, and now I have a little bit of vinegar left, maybe enough for a second batch if that starts to work. And supposedly this thing is gonna bubble a little bit, but it may take a while. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit for an hour and maybe shake it up a few times in the, during that hour time frame. And we're gonna come back and we're gonna see how that does. And I may let it sit as much as 24 hours and then we'll rinse it off. I think I'm supposed to rinse it off with distilled water, but I may just use regular water. But let's go check it out. All right, it's been an hour and I have set the timer on the microwave, and every 15 minutes I've come over here with this this plastic fork and kind of stirred these puppies around, just because I'm fearful that these coins, they kind of all like stick together and the vinegar is not getting in between them all. Since I'm kind of doing an all-in-one shot here as opposed to one coin at a time, I definitely am running the risk of not having enough vinegar exposure for every coin. So I decided, yeah, I'll just stir them like this every 15 minutes or so. And from here it looks like they're doing better. Like I don't see as much green on the coin, and the liquid is turning green. And in fact, I've got a little cup here that I wanted to check out, just kind of verify for myself. Yeah, that is definitely, that vinegar has definitely turned a green color. So I have to imagine that the tarnish that has been on these coins has come off to some degree, because I got a lot of green in that going on. So I think I'm going to do this a little bit more. And like I said, I still see some of the coins that are heavily tarnished, like that one back there, that one over there. And I kind of expected that, right? But it seems like some of the other coins that just had some light tarnishing look better. But I really won't know, I don't think, until I actually, lay these all out on their face and on their tail again to just see how much this helped or did not help. But I definitely had a lot of green tarnishing, and wow. So I'm gonna kind of filter off the rest of this nastiness and use the remainder of what I have. And I'll probably do another hour and see what it looks like. All right, coming back at you. All right, let's go ahead and pour the remainder of my vinegar. You know what? I didn't even use it all. That's pretty much covering the coins there. Give it a fresh stir, and I think I'm gonna set the timer again and do the same kind of process. Just agitate these guys and expose that corrosion, that green corrosion to this vinegar, and see if it comes off or I get more action. Obviously, I got a lot of clear vinegar now as opposed to what I ended up with. So let's come back in an hour. Okay, it's been another hour of these guys sitting in the vinegar, and I've stirred it every 15 minutes. I set the microwave timer, just kind of doing this type of thing. While that's been happening, I had been sorting through the other coins, attempting to find there's a variety of ones that were painted and had were really dark brown or dark black, and I went ahead and decided to clean that with some baking soda, and they cleaned up really good. And so I also went ahead and kind of sorted those other ones. But I'll tell you, this experiment has been successful. Each quarter that I put in here had some form of green corrosion on it, and I don't see any on most of these. There's still a few that have, that were egregiously bad, but this vinegar thing has worked way better than I expected. As I'm looking through, I mean, every single one, and this is like $30 space almost. So at least, 120, less than 120, at least more than 100 quarters had some form of green corrosion on there, and it is largely all gone. So, I mean, I'm totally doing this to those barbers with that green corrosion on there. That's not even this was highly successful. These quarters do not feel damaged in any way. They don't look dark like I've seen other videos complain that they darkened up the coins. It seems like, and then, if you look at the, let's see if we can pour this out. If you look at the vinegar, clearly it's picked up the corrosion, the green copper in there. So that has really worked. I guess I'm shocked. It worked better. Like here's one that I remember this thing was pretty heavy, but look at that. There's just a little bit of that green corrosion left. Here, I'll set that aside in that jar still, right? But this worked out a lot better than I expected, and I am kind of excited to use this on the barbers that I was reticent to do that with. Here's a little bit, little tiny bit left, but man, I wish I had done some more close-up pics on just how bad these were, because I was not feeling very good about this purchase, because most of them were like that bad, right? Or worse. Yeah, I was feeling kind of bad about this purchase because, a good third of the coins were so corroded. It looked like basically I had received somebody's dump pile, because in addition to all the corrosion, there's a number of them that are kind of beat up, banged up. But this has really changed. You know, there's a little teeny green left there. If you can see that, you know, maybe it'll sit in the vinegar for another 15 minutes and be done. Who knows? But that is astounding. Truly, wasn't expecting that good of a result. So I'm gonna deem that one a success. I'm gonna go ahead and finish sorting through these guys, and then rinse them and go ahead and I'll compare and contrast them to the other coins that I had separated out. So I'll be back with you in a moment. All right, we're back at the table here, and these are the vinegar treated coins. They used to all have some form of, you know, green corrosion on them. And aside from 3 or 4 that have like a couple little green corrosion and some crevices, there is just no indication at all that vinegar worked. And, you know, it's supposed to be a light acid, so I didn't kind of expect too much. And, but you saw it. That greatly exceeded my expectations. I had a good 30 face here. I ended up, you know, finding other pieces and throwing them in the vinegar just because there was a minor bit of corrosion. So yeah, we're a little over 30 face that was vinegar cleaned. I've got the rest of the non-vinegar cleaned coins up here sorted into the 30s and the 40s and the 50s and the 60s. And interestingly, a lot of these vinegar clean ones aren't in too bad a shape. They're not dented or dinged or super worn. They're, you know, in the 30s. There's a couple of slicks, but that's, you know, and they're not really slicks. You can see the dates and all of them. But there are a few of these ones that are pretty beat up. This one's got an interesting punch into it. This one is all smashed. This one is really corroded to the point where you can't even see, you can barely see the date. And this one is weirdly dinged, and this one's smashed. This one is kind of got like, I don't know, some sort of, let's see if you can get that in focus here, some sort of acid bubbling on there where it was in something. And then I've got a really strange one that looks like it was like rolled smooth on the edge, and it's all smashed, almost like somebody, I don't know, hammered all the edges, because it's a higher edge around this quarter. So very curious. I want to test this one in terms of weight and make sure it's magnet wise, but it's definitely a different feel. But it feels like somebody just like somehow rolled this in something till it got smashed. This one's just a little dirty. And then unfortunately I did find one 1965. So I kind of got hosed. There's $5 out the door. Let's see if you can get that into focus there. Yeah. So it's a 1965. It's a clad coin that ended up into the mix. But what I'm going to do next with the remainder of these guys is just do a count, make sure I got the 80 face that I'm supposed to have, and probably end up minus that coin, the 65. So let me get there. All right, guys, I've got everything organized by decades. So we got the 30s here, $10 face, the 40s here, you know, right in this area, the 50s here, and the 60s here. But there was something even more unexpected than the 1965. By the way, if there was that one weird one I was talking about, the one that was like the rolled quarter. If you weigh it here, you can see it weighs the normal amount as another silver quarter weighs around the same amount. It just depends on, you know, whether you get a newer one. Let me get a 50s, right? Around the general area, so weighs the right amount. But if you weigh a 65, right, you're way under. So, so the one sad thing is that I got the 65, but unexpectedly, instead of $80 face that I was supposed to receive, I received $90 face. So the gentleman who we arranged in the agreement, and I double checked and I paid for $80 face, gave me 90. So I'm gonna, of course, contact him. Well, he gave me 90 minus a 25 there. So I'm gonna contact him and let him know that he overshipped, which is very surprising. So it looks like I now owe him more money, but that's okay. But yeah, shocking. Somehow he accidentally sent me $10 more and I saw that he wrote on the package 80. So I'm not sure what happened with his count, but he sent me 90. I hope he's happy to have an honest customer, but yeah, that's the only the right thing to do is to let him know and to correct the mistake, as we want to be good to each other in the silver community here and wouldn't want that to happen to ourselves. So at any rate, that's fairly interesting development here. Got more quarters than I thought. I thought I was shorted one. I ended up having 39 extra. So, all right. So I think that pretty much does it for the video. I'm gonna probably search through some of these for some of the low mintage and rarity ones. But since these were fairly damaged, I actually got a little more in the 30s than usual. Usually I'm pretty sparse in the 30s, and I have a lot more in the 60s. But the 30s and the 40s I had more of on this go about, and not many in the 50s. All right, welcome back for a little status update. A lot has happened in the last couple of days since I finished the end of the video here, and I wanted to just let you know I did speak with the seller, and they were appreciative and surprised that they had accidentally sent more silver than he thought. He did a good count before he sent it off, but and he was a little even more concerned about the clad coin than anything else. That he was apologetic that one got in there, and he was surprised since he had gotten it from a dealer or a wholesaler. So at any rate, I offered to pay the previously agreed upon price, and he knocked $1 off the face value for the confusion and the trouble. So went ahead and sent him the extra money for the $9.75 face plus 25 cents that I ended up receiving. So that was pretty good. In addition to that, I went ahead and kind of organized the stack a little bit. As you know, I've finished one 500-ounce monster box project of quarters, so that's 500 ounces, but $700 face value. And so these all in here, these are all now in the 50s and 60s. And that makes the predominance of this box. You see a little desiccant pack in there for any moisture that might be in the ammo can. And then I went ahead and pulled out all the 30s and the 40s, and I started breaking them down into year rather than just into decade. But I've run out of tubes, so I broke out some of the old square tubes that you can't quite see through very well, and that makes right now, and and also the Barbers and the SLQs, Standing Liberty quarters, that I've picked up along the way, And some of the odd ducks, these are, I pulled these out. These are kind of some low mintage or some airs. There's a Type 1 SLQ that I found in the mix. That's kind of cool. But I've been kind of searching more heavily through the 30s and the 40s because that's where a lot of the low mintage and the varieties are. I didn't find anything special in terms of low mintage, or sort of in terms of varieties, but the low mintage stuff, I've picked up everything except for the 32s, which are the super rare ones. It's like $100 per coin. And I've got extras of some of these. So I could start a second book, maybe even a third book, if I wanted to on the quarters. So I'm gonna continue to go through this. A lot of these, like, you know, this tube's way too full, right? It'd probably come right down to here for 40 quarters, but I'm just slamming all the quarters as much as I can in these tubes because I'm just low on actual coin holders. So I'll be trying to get another little order in of these tubes as I'm gonna move my way into another $700 face value into our brand new dented up monster box here. So got a good start. I've already got, I would say, roughly 300 face out of 700 started. So we'll keep on stacking out there. Thanks, guys. Take care.